This is Bob Sansevere with TwinCities.com web sports producer Kevin Cusick. You've got the new coach of the Vikings saying he'd love to have Matt Castle back. You got the superstar of the team, Adrian Peterson, not saying he wants Castle, not saying he wants Josh Freeman, certainly not saying he wants Christian Ponder. He's saying he wants Michael Vick. Who do you want?
You know, I feel strongly both ways. But I do think that the idea of, bringing in as your caretaker quarterback to carry you over to the next era of a young rookie quarterback, perhaps one taken in this draft, Michael Vick doesn't really strike me as the ideal caretaker role model for a quarterback.
Change man.
Yes. Although some people are hard to forgive his past indiscretions.
2 years.
So first of all, that's going to be a problem with some of the local fan base.
2 years less of having his body beat up. He may have been in the yard, spent 2 years in prison, for the dogfighting thing.
It depends on what prison you're in.
But he might have, been just spending that time working out, lifting. I don't know if he played for the prison team as longest yard or not. But he seems to have stayed in pretty good shape when he's been playing. He didn't outright lose his job. It's not like he was benched. He had a hamstring injury in Philadelphia, and then Nick Foles came in and played very well, and that is what cost him the job. I don't know that the job wouldn't have been yanked away from him.
Here's why I'm anti-Vick. The Eagles last year with Vick as a starting quarterback were 2-4. With Foles as a quarterback, they were 8-2.
I would counter that with this. That was a new system that even with Foles, if he'd started, they were going to have some rough patches early. I happen to like Vick and frankly, the reason I like him is more than him as a player. As a member of the media, he would be fabulous to have in town.
I would have some fun with his presence.
Yes, you would. See, I don't know why you're fighting this then.
I'm not fighting.
You got the superstar of the team, Adrian Peterson, who wants him. I think this is one time you do what the superstar wants.
You know what Peterson really needs?
What?
Spell check. But that's another thing.
You know what? As I mentioned, because I blogged about this too, I think people are more concerned with his ground game than his grammar.
Sure. But the problems I have with Vick is, number one, he's not the player he used to be, which, he's 34 now, I believe.
He will be 34
Still
in June.
far younger than Mountain Man Brett Favre was when he played
half a decade younger than when he came here.
But the biggest thing is his durability. He has not played a full season since 2006 with Atlanta. He only averaged...
Whoa. You have to take 2 years out of that. He didn't play again in 2009.
Sure, but in his 5
years... give the guy a little credit
in his 5 years in Philadelphia, the most he ever played was 13 games, I believe.
Also, in fairness, when he started there, he didn't come in as the automatic starter. He was mixing and matching with guys.
I'm going to side here with new coach Mike Zimmer, who says he'd love to have Matt Castle here. The problem is, if you read the recent reports today, it seems like Houston coach Bill O'Brien, who used to work with Castle when he was with New England, also would really like to have Castle there. And money-wise, it seems like Houston is going to be more willing to spend coin on Mr. Castle than the Vikings are. And so it could be a completely moot point, Zimmer's desire, because it wouldn't be surprising. I read a report today. There's a lot of speculation that Houston's plan is to sign Castle, use the number one pick on that Clowney fellow,
and then
South
take
Carolina,
quarterback in the second round,
and then with the
round.
first pick in the second round, taking Bob's favorite Italian stallion,
Jimmy Garoppolo
out of Eastern Illinois,
that would be
which
massive.
would give them their quarterback for the future. Matt Castle would be the caretaker at an affordable price, and they would have the best overall talent in the draft, paired up on defense with J.J. Watt. So I think the Castle thing may be completely moved.
And I think it is, and frankly, I think that it's what you say is exactly what will happen, because Castle knows that wherever he goes, he's always going to have somebody trying to catch him. And he also knows, because he's not a dumb guy at all, that they will take a quarterback with that second pick, and that's at least a 1 to 2 to maybe 3 year process before that guy would step in and become the starter. Especially Garoppolo is coming from had great numbers, but he's not coming from a conference or a division.
Sure.
It's just below that D1.
But it's the school that gave us Tony Romo.
Yes, it is. And Sean Payton.
So assuming they can't have Castle back, which I would say 75% chance that he's not going there, is Vick your best option, or would it be someone like McCown, who started for the Bears this year?
Frankly, because we've been just going accolade after accolade with the great job that Norv Turner does as a coordinator, let's see him work with Vick. Vick has skills and he has talent, and he has a superstar running back who wants him.
Wow.
So if Turner, let's let Turner earn his keep.
We'll see what
and
happens.
his reputation.
We'll see what happens in the coming days. But do you think this affects in any way if they do sign Vick? Are they going to still be desperate for a quarterback, or are they going to wait?
Absolutely, it's the same thing. You're still looking for a quarterback.
Are you going to take him at 8?
I wouldn't take him at 8. I would take a defensive player at 8. If Khalil Mack is there, I'd take him, or Darqueze Dennard, who people say, well, it should be in the 10 or 11. If you think
I've seen him drop into like the 20s, even though he is the correct pick for the Vikings.
I also think then if they think they can get him in the teens or the low 20s, they may trade out of the 8th pick.
Sure.
Because Mack is a guy they really love.
Who's the guy? Is it Gilbert from Oklahoma State, who's now like the top cornerback?
Yeah, he's moved up
because he was somewhat faster than Mr. Dennard in the combine.
Watch what they do on film.
But all Dennard does is make plays, and I would still say trade down, gather some picks in what's supposed to be one of the deepest drafts in years,
and that's
and still get your shutdown corner. And then in the second round,
you take
there's still going to be quarterbacks available. Although your guy, Mr. Garoppolo, may no longer be available then, but Mr. McCarron still be there. Mr. Mettenberg, Mr. Murray, still a lot of possibilities there.
Well, here's a possibility too. It's going to be impossible for the Gophers if they lose tomorrow to Penn State to make it into the NCAA tournament without winning the Big Ten title.
Sure. I mean, you could make the argument that if they won like 2 or 3 games in the Big Ten tournament, but they're going to have a hard time beating Penn State. Penn State's playing pretty well. They took my alma mater, Northwestern, to the woodshed the other night, limited them to 32 points.
That's in the game, not the half.
In a game. Now, I've seen Northwestern score 32 points in a game before. It's not pretty.
Well, we'll have to see if it gets prettier next week when we talk again.
NIT,
right here.
Baby. NIT for the Gophers.
You betcha. Kevin Cusick, Bob Sansevere, of course, CJ Sinner is be at the controls. You want to step in now so people can say hello? No,
we got to keep them into suspense.
That'll work for now. At some point, you're going to be sitting
there
right there
already
with us.
wasn't too much suspense in this
right.
Sansa cast.
It's the Cusick cast.
That doesn't ring.
All right, we'll work on that. Thanks again. See you later.